Hi, it's Rich Tarani. Thanks for watching TMC Net's Editor's Day, Santa Clara edition 2015. On our program is Alan Nee. He's with Aruba. Alan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic. So you're part of the HP Enterprise
Correct.
division, right?
Yes,
the recent
correct.
split of the company, and so that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So give me the overview of how you see Aruba in terms of just a description of what the company's doing.
Yeah. So Aruba's been around for more than 10 years. We were an independent company, really focused on mobile networks, mobility. We power a lot of the enterprise mobile Wi-Fi network. We power a lot of the biggest sort of facilities, et cetera. And we basically ran through that till earlier this year in May, when basically Hewlett-Packard, or HP at the time, announced to acquire us. And since May, when the actual acquisition happened, we now have combined forces with the legacy sort of HP networking division, and we now are operating under a new business network unit entity called Aruba, right? And as you just kind of mentioned, in November 1st, HP itself actually split up into two entities. HP Inc. really focused more on personal computing systems, printing, and then Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. And within that new sort of reorg and the divestiture into two separate companies, Aruba and our enterprise-specific sort of focus wouldn't surprise you. It's ended up, we are now part of Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Sure. Now, if you're looking from a customer perspective at Aruba, why is it that they're purchasing from Aruba versus some of the competitive players in the market? I mean, it's a fairly rich field in terms of competition.
Correct.
Why do they pick Aruba?
So they pick Aruba because really we had a fresh look. Even since the beginning, we've always been multi-vendor, but more importantly, we really have a better understanding of the specific sort of mobility trends. And our feeling was that as mobility sort of matured, as organizations really started to adopt mobility core to their strategy, and as applications have really moved from to mobile being a primary delivery for that third screen, it really needs a fresh look at what the actual infrastructure and connectivity needs you need to provide for those specific sort of applications, right? So having the mobile sort of context to be able to not only deliver the data that we want to deliver, but the type of data that we want to deliver for this new type of user, where they want to be a lot more context sensitive. They want more of a Google Now or Siri sort of experience on a limited form factor sort of device. That sort of context is incredibly useful, and we're incorporating that into our specific platform, our solution. Also, the ability to give enterprises confidence that in this new paradigm where the devices they're connecting are no longer corporately owned and corporately controlled, but they are actually very heterogeneous and have varying levels of trust, the ability to be able to deliver information to those devices securely and reliably really set our solution apart from a lot of our other competitors.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned to me off camera that a big focus now is experience. Could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're in Santa Clara here, and usually we say at our headquarters we're a couple miles away, but we're literally a stone's throw away from Levi's Stadium, home of the 49ers. And that really is a showcase of our technology. Our technology actually is in that stadium, basically providing all the actual wireless Wi-Fi connectivity to every stadium and every stadium patron in their seat to the actual location sort of context. So actually having indoor sort of telemetry. And that deal, and if I actually told you about the specific sort of sales cycle of that deal, it's very different than the traditional sort of networking or Wi-Fi sale that may have happened 5-10 years ago. Back then, I could have made a sale to the networking department, and Wi-Fi was viewed more as a convenience network. In this specific sort of deal, if I went in with that type of mentality, I would probably be competing, and I did compete, with a lot of other providers that would be marking that capability. But in this case, we actually approached that deal and went to them and said, okay, what do you want to achieve with mobile? We knew that they wanted to have the most technologically advanced stadium, but what do you want to do? And their pain point at the end of the day is, television coverage of NFL games is absolutely fantastic. And how do I create fans and patrons that are a lot more loyal, that want to come to games, right? So in this case, what we actually really partnered with, we part with a really strategic partner of us on the software delivery side to create a specific app that delivered a set of experiences that relied on this mission critical sort of connectivity and the context that we've provided. So just to be not as abstract, but just kind of jump into it a little more, when I go into the stadium from the parking lot all the way to my seat, I have indoor wayfinding that can guide my way. When I'm at my seat, if food and beverage is a very big piece of the experience, right, and I have the ability to either have them deliver food directly to my seat because they know where I'm at, or I have the ability to potentially go pick it up, and when I pick up, it tells me the different options I have, and it has a sense of where I'm actually seated, the actual crowd lines at any one of those specific sort of lines, to really give me the best experience so I'm not missing the game. I can go get my hot dog and return and do it really quickly. Right? So this is all about experience. And then finally, we talked a little bit about this earlier. When I'm at my seat, I now have the ability, since it knows I'm in the stadium, I not only can watch live view on the field, but I can have basically a replay or access to any camera angle.
So really, Wi-Fi is an enabling business model. I mean, we thought, like you said, it was plumbing.
Yes.
But now really, you're integrating it. You're smart applications with the connectivity and the obviously high-powered broadband, so that everybody has tremendous amounts of bandwidth at their disposal, because to do a lot of these things you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And so that's, like you said, that's the experience. And so that seems to be the future then, is how venues like even shopping centers, malls, things like that, in order to compete, the next level is going to have to be what technology can you apply to the experience, the brick and mortar experience, to compete with the online experience.
Correct. So I mean, the stadium, very convenient. It's so close. Another area of interest, as you just mentioned, retail. Right. So retail historically, from a store, from a brick and mortar sort of level, some of these businesses may be very low margin, and they were typically very cost conscious in terms of their investments in network and connectivity.
Absolutely.
Right. But what's really changed?
There's a mall near my house where the network, the Wi-Fi is atrocious. But
Yes,
I'm not going to go into
exactly.
which one it is, but please continue.
But I mean, what you're seeing is that as brick and mortars are really starting to fight daily, right, with e-commerce and trying to really fight against the efficiencies that they have, the fact that they don't have to have multiple storefronts, et cetera, they need to figure out a way to have a digital relationship with their specific sort of shopper, right? And you'll see a lot of retailers are starting to now build e-commerce sort of presence. Like they have a website, they have the ability where you can go buy something online, but how do I take advantage of my physical asset, right? I have brick and mortar stores, and leverage it with my online presence to kind of unify that specific experience. Right now, we've heard just even recently some very big name, big box retailers that are basically saying that, hey, to really compete, to really think about the future, I need to rethink about the entire customer experience. Right? And the great news is they're bringing in-house talent to think about mobility. In some cases, they're developing in-house. Other times, they're partnering. But at the end of the day, they're finally recognizing that the actual infrastructure to deliver that experience is now mission critical. It's no longer a nice to have. And that's why this is a specific vertical that I'm very gung-ho about, because I just think we have a lot to be able to deliver, and we've done this for other verticals that I would argue were kind of first movers that had just got to this point a little sooner than others. Right?
That's great. Well, thanks so much for being here. This was really exciting stuff, and good luck.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.